Where I will be laying out 3 more cards using the Rider-Waite deck to have a look and see what messages come in around this relationship, anything we could read into, excuse me, to describe this connection. So let's jump into it, Leo, and see what the cards can reveal about this relationship. Okay, let's start off with the devil energy here. Now, the devil can point to a lot of things, but I definitely feel in terms of sexual chemistry, infatuation, and connection, that will definitely be one of your strong points. The devil does have quite a strong sexual energy to it, so I believe you could have a lot of intimacy or affection, or the relationship could start as a one-night stand or even an affair for some of you Leos watching. It is Capricorn energy, and it's not always bad. Capricorn energy can symbolize that you have an ability to overcome obstacles. The Capricorn represented by the ram, by the goat, or call it what you will, the ram, the goat, the sheep, is very, very resilient. And I feel like because that's coming up here, the stoic, the ambitious energy of your connection could be one that's very, very profound here. It can indicate equality in a relationship. See how they're both binded by the chain here, but the devil indicating power can mean that one of you do have more power or authority or upper hand in this connection. It could also be like the two of you are almost obsessed with each other. Sometimes it can be the fact that you're so codependent and so reliant on each other. The devil card can be overindulgences, over obsessive behavior. So some of you might have that sort of relationship here. It's not going to come without challenges. Okay, the devil can be mind games and a bit of manipulation, whether this is coming from you or whether this is coming from them. But I feel like because Capricorn energy, they can often detach themselves from emotions. And I feel like because of that detachment, that may cause a bit of problems because they won't always express how they feel, Leo, and that could make you feel quite frustrated in the connection here. But it could even mean you share something here. They could share the same vices as you. You know, we all have vices. So they might have similar vices to you, Leo, and it's almost like you might bond over that. For example, if you love to overindulge in drinking and going out all the time and having that sort of lifestyle, this person could be the same. They could be quite like-minded. Another example would be if you're into the same things sexually, if you're into kink or whatever it is that you like, this person might be that way inclined too. There's something taboo or something that's behind closed doors with this person. I don't think it's necessarily secrets, but I do feel like there's something here to them that will come out in this relationship in some way, shape, or form. Now, you also have the Four of Swords here, which is air energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. It's a very calming energy, so I feel like communication might always be quite calm. The exchange of communication could be quite calm. It's also a need to reflect in the relationship or to step back at times. So this might be a message here that every so often you need to reflect on the relationship and check in with yourself, check in with this person, to how you're feeling. This can be a bit of a stop and start relationship, okay? If there's mind games and the tomb effigy symbolizing loss or something being laid to rest, there might be periods in the relationship where communication is so calm, in fact, that there is none, or it's not very effective, okay? Or it doesn't ideally get you where you want to be somehow. So there could be periods of time in this connection, either you or them pull back completely in terms of communication. There could also be hardship because there's loss here. One of you may experience loss in some sort of facet in your life, whether it's of a job, of a person, of a friend, and this could somehow impact the relationship, okay? Or it could be detrimental to the relationship. For some of you, it won't be. To see the Devil card here, the Devil can indicate obstacles and hardship, as can the Ten of Wands. So the fact that it has come up, some of you, this person is actually going to help you heal from that. They're going to help be your anchor during that situation. So in psychology, it's called trauma bonding. And it's when one of you go through something quite traumatic in your lives and the other one is there and helps you through that process. It creates some sort of bondship here. A reliance, and needing to fall back on this person, yes. But nonetheless, I do feel like that's the case for some of you watching this, okay? Not for all of you, but for some of you, that definitely might be the case. Again, it's a church background here, the church, the devil. I don't know if this is righteousness, morality, or tradition or custom, but this person could be quite determined to maybe not necessarily force or coerce these customs on you, but they could be quite involved in these sorts of things, and they might want to instill that in the relationship. That might mean a lot to them, or it might mean a lot to you, Leo. You might be the one doing this as well. It might not necessarily just be them acting this way. So it could definitely be the both of you. But moving on, you do have the Ten of Wands, which is fire energy, Aries, Sagittarius, Leo. The Ten of Wands can often be seen as burdensome energy or something quite heavy. I do believe you'll go through this relationship with a heavy heart. So there might be baggage or burdensome energy, whether this is from your side or from theirs, or maybe from the both of you. You might both experience this sort of burden, some sort of burden or something that becomes too heavy. There could be a lot of pressure, because when we see the weight of the Ten of Wands, we think of weight, we think of pressure, we think of things weighing us down. So maybe it's a message here to not let too much weigh this relationship down, and to enjoy, exchange pleasantries, share your dreams, enjoy harmony together, do special things for each other, surprise each other. Maybe it can't be all work and no play. Maybe there's a message here that if you get yourself into some sort of routine with this person, the relationship, there's a potential here for the relationship to result in something becoming heavy and tedious and constricted, okay, constricted. So you might also have that, and it could even be restricting each other. I don't know if some of you might feel a bit restricted like the other person, maybe because of trust issues. Some of you might experience that in the relationship. But for others, it could be different, okay? For others, it's the Ten of Wands shows someone who's quite, again, resilient. Someone who's willing to be by your side. I mean, I don't know if it's about this dominance thing with the devil. It could just indicate that it's a dominant relationship where it's really going to dominate your love life in some way. Maybe there's new things you're going to be doing. Maybe there's major milestones that you'll be achieving or working towards with this person. But that could definitely impact how the relationship will unfold. But back to that 10, he doesn't drop the 1, so he's managing quite well. So I feel like if there are times in the connection where things are a bit, get out of hand or uncontrollable or get too much, I have a feeling, provided you deal with things maturely, which I think you will, you can really get through a lot. You can really bypass a lot of obstacles together, Leo. So I think that is worthy. I think that is showing that this person is willing to devote or give a lot. Okay, they're willing to give up a lot potentially for you. Or as the Wands, Leo, this could be you. You might be willing to give up a lot for this person, for this sort of connection, for this sort of relationship. I will leave your reading at that though, Leo. So it's been a pleasure reading for you. I do hope it's given you some sort of insight into the relationship.